Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Fun Day Monday, August 2025. When you got the lives of people in your own hands, what you eat plays a big part in the grand scheme of things. Don't you agree?
I do agree. The quiz question this month was which two people never eat the same meals? A. Space station astronauts. B. Bride and groom. C. Olympic teammates. Or D. Pilot and co-pilot. The answer was D. Pilot and co-pilot.
And it seems like most people that played the quiz kind of got that because when you think about people up in the plane, hundreds of people, it's pretty important that you would want your pilot and co-pilot to not get poisoned, right? So, formally said, while it's not a strict legal requirement enforced by the aviation authorities, most airlines encourage or require pilots and co-pilots to eat different meals as a safety precaution. This practice is intended to prevent both pilots from becoming incapacitated by food poisoning, ensuring that at least one pilot remains healthy enough to operate the aircraft, which totally makes sense.
It does. It does. Because food poisoning is the last thing anyone wants to be affected by on board an aircraft, especially if you're in charge of flying that aircraft.
Yep.
According to research by the Australian Transport Safety Bureau, between 2010 and 2014, the country had an average of 23 pilots that were incapacitated while flying per year. About 75% of these occurrences happened while flying an aircraft, with the leading cause being gastrointestinal illnesses.
You know, in just our everyday lives, we don't think that this could happen. You know, like I've never thought that there would have been that many that would have gotten sick in the air. And so, like, they had to kind of enforce this more. You know what I mean? 23 pilots, that's quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, on February 3rd, 1975, for example, back in those years, right? 179 people fell ill and 144 people needed hospitalization after a food poisoning incident aboard a commercial airliner. Amazing. Although the risk of food poisoning aboard an aircraft has dramatically reduced over the years, airlines adhere to strict food safety protocols. That being said, every airline has its own protocol when it comes to providing food to its cabin crew members. So first of all, let me say that wow, we don't eat as much on planes. Back in those years, they would bring a full meal and set it on your tray, right?
Right.
And like, you know, maybe when you're doing international flights, they might still do that. But, you know, with local flights here across the country, we just don't have as much of those type of foods that, like you were saying earlier, that need to be refrigerated and things like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also, it's interesting because it seems like the pilots might get fed something different than the passengers. Don't you agree?
Sounds like it. Sounds like the whole crew might be fed something different than what the passengers might be because even the crew can't afford really to get sick.
Yeah, even the flight attendants, right? And stuff like
Right.
that.
Right.
Yeah. So they don't want to be getting sick, and especially the pilots.
Definitely the pilots.
Pilot and the co-pilot, you know, we need somebody with hands-on.
Right.
Even the plane, though the plane can fly by itself, you know, an autopilot, that doesn't mean that it still could, you know, land itself either by
Right.
itself. So, well, anyway, it's been a fun quiz question, a really interesting one to think about, and something that you may not have known about that many people in the past have gotten sick up in the air. So, having said that, let's do the quiz. And we've got quite a few people that played this time, it seemed like. And as we'll see who the winner is this month for Fun Day Monday.
All right, here we go. The winner is Scott and Joe Delude. Congratulations.
Todd and Joe Delude. Okay, that's fantastic. It's good to hear their names. They might be a first-time winner.
I think
So
it may be for them.
that would be great. So anyway, if you guys are hearing this, contact me. If you didn't get this information, I'll definitely be contact. Make sure the winners know that they won. But I will be getting this video out to the same people who played. And anyway, so been a fun August quiz question. Interesting. Every month is fun.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Well, you guys, please don't keep us a secret. Um, have fun the rest of your summer. It's going by quickly, and Labor Day is coming up, and so have a good Labor Day coming up, and we'll be in touch on the next Fun Day Monday for September. All right.
Goodbye.
All right. Have a good day, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye bye.